Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's Devotional. Today, we begin to look ahead at the events which will unfold beginning tomorrow and into the weekend, leading us to the resurrection at Easter. Today, we look at foot washing, which happened on Maundy Thursday. Maundy comes from the word mandatum, which means mandate. See, Jesus did an incredible thing that night alongside communion. He invited each of his disciples to come to him and have their feet washed. Just like I have here, Jesus had a towel either on his shoulder or around his waist, and he had a bowl with water and some sort of solution for cleaning like soap, just like we have here. And Jesus made himself lower than a servant. He first invited Peter to come and get his feet washed. Now we must understand, back then, people wore sandals and they walked the streets all day. Their feet were filthy with all sorts of things that we would never dream of having on our own skin. So even the servants wouldn't wash their feet. No, only the person who those feet belonged to would dare touch them. So in this way, Jesus became someone lower than even a servant. And he said, "Come, for if I do not wash your feet, then you are no one to me." And Peter had hesitation. I think many of us experience a sense of hesitation at the awkwardness of having someone else wash our feet for us in a setting like this. And Peter says, "No, Lord, I can't let you do that." And Jesus says, "But you must. This is how I love you." So Jesus becomes the servant. So our scripture reading today comes out of John. It says, "If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example, that you should do as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him." What foot washing does is it takes two people and it humbles both of them together, putting them at an equal space for reconciliation, where we can reach out and truly be with one another in an intimate way. Whenever I think of foot washing, I think of that episode that originally aired in 1969 with Fred Rogers. In his time, he did a very radical thing. He invited a black man to play a policeman on his show. And he invited him to come into Mr. Rogers' yard and sit with both of their feet in the same pool. Now remember, this is at a time when blacks and whites could not share the same public spaces, much less a swimming pool. And there they sat, and they had a nice chat. And then Mr. Rogers gets down, and he takes his towel, and he scrubs and dries the man's feet. It broke barriers. It was just as radical in 1969 as it was thousands of years ago for Jesus to do the same thing with his disciples. So I want to ask you today, as we march into this weekend ahead, how can you radically let Jesus into your life and into your heart? And that is a thought I will leave you with today. I'll see you soon.